soft fabric, worn lace, butterflies and summer fancies pressed in old pages. Welcome to Felicity's journal. So this journal is the second in a series of journals I'm doing that are so fun. I am making them as historical journals that have already been used, have already been filled with writing and love. That's why they're so full like this. They're from my imagination and there's journal entries inside. As I flip through, I'll just pause briefly on the journal cards and entries, and if you want to read them, you can just pause the video and read those through. They are all put together kind of authentically for what I imagine this journal was. It's not going to be completely historically accurate. It's just a fantasy and fun. So we start on the spine. It says summer 1873. Nice soft fabric spine with some padding underneath. I made some dangles with beads, which I'm not really a bead lover, but I had this craft wire that I used, and I made some really sweet ones and things from earrings and charms that I had, and it makes kind of a nice sound. I've made this with the no-sew binding method as well. It's where you just tape the pages or glue the pages together as you go, and as you build them, they grow this way as well, the blank pages. So the spine is about 2 inches on this one. And I really love doing the binding that way because then I find my books grow more evenly this way instead of being really pinched over here and huge here. So on the cover here, we have a beautiful lady image from Stamperia, the Hortensia paper pack that I've used throughout here. I've got fabric, laces, some appliques, ribbon. Things are glued, but also I sewed this whole, this is just the cover here, and it's attached to this, and it's all sewn on with my sewing machine. This closure is attached within the cover, which is great because I had a bad habit once upon a time of forgetting to put my closure in, and then I'd have to attach it after the fact. So we start on this lovely page. Felicity Rose Marchand from Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, Canada, summer of 1873. And she talks about how this little book is her wandering thoughts and fluttering dreams, butterflies, lavender, and lilacs. And she's gathering quiet beauty, long days and evenings. So Felicity loves green and mauve purple. She loves butterflies. She's got some pages of moths here, some paper, and she's handwritten some Latin names of these, and they are real names of moths, but I don't think that they're at all what these are, but that's okay. And I've aged up these pages really nicely with my distress oxide. On the second page, we've got, I used, I had a prototype that I'd made up, so I was using the pages from that. So we've got where flowers bloom, there is hope. I've done a collage here, some journal tags, and Felicity believes that flowers are among the gentlest companions. And this is my handwriting, all my handwriting, of course. Tags that I've run under my sewing machine. I've distressed everything really nicely since this is supposed to be a very old journal. So I've got this attached here. I've got this beautiful applique ribbony stuff that I have, which I just love how it looks. Sewn some ruffles on the bottom. And she's talking about how she sat on the porch and worked on her needlework, which I don't think she was loved very much, but ladies of that age needed to be able to sew. So I've just done these ruffles on strips of paper with my sewing machine beforehand, and then I attached them to the book. Oh, now we're into May 28th. Her dad let her take her the butterfly field guide from the shelf. Oh, so she must have thought that was really fun to explore. So I've got these beautiful, heavy postcard type things that were brand new, of course. So she's just got some journal entries on these. I've really grunged them up. This is a pocket with fabric, and got a couple of little things that these are just from, like, Dollarama. make them all grungy looking, and a nice fabric little tag here. I've got threads hanging off, which I love the look of. And next page, I had these beautiful paper doilies with these images that I just thought were so wonderful. So those are standalone there. And then you can see how these pages are joined together just in the center. These are some things that I had previously made as well, and I didn't like them, so I took them apart and worked them into this page, which I really enjoy that. I find it very satisfying to take things that, you know, you make them and then you put them away and you're like, what am I ever going to do with this? Take it apart and make it into something new. And here's a little journal entry. This is some specimen slide printables that I got. And so I just did a cutout of a butterfly and put it on there. I thought that looked kind of authentic. Some stenciling on here, some ruffle paper that I'd sewn. Just bits of things like this is some packaging that I had from these. The packaging was so beautiful that I used some of it in here. And I made sure that I grunged everything up really well. I even put the ink on these ribbons and laces too to try to make them look old. Another page with moths, some authentic names of moths that probably aren't what those are. These are just some things from the packaging that I used. I thought they looked really cute. I cut them with my little postage stamp scissors. And this I've run through my sewing machine and glued on. Nice fabric pocket with some more of that applique. I had sewn that and then I glued that to the page. Oh, I have a nice collage under here, more butterflies. Oh, I just had so much fun making this journal. It probably took me maybe 2 or 3 weeks of, you know, a good amount of work, but I only sit down and work for maybe an hour at a time, a couple times a day, whatever. So it to me, it looks like it was more work than it was. I mean, journals take a lot of work anyway, right? But so this is just a nice collage of things that I had. I pulled scraps and just really pulled all my colors out and then sort of matched everything together. Oh, her friend Lillian says that she's hopeless with ribbons. Now I have a tutorial of this page that I uploaded a week or 2 ago. So I showed you how I put all this together. And is there anything? Oh, let's see. So there's a journal card in here. She talks about her friend Lillian's being married, or her, who knows, it's cousin. It doesn't say, had she been practicing her married name. And I have this little envelope that I printed. Just a few little things inside, things that she must have thought were pretty. Goes in the vellum pocket. Just this little cluster of a butterfly here that the butterfly kind of sits on top of the vellum there. And we've got lots going on here. And we've got a little side pocket under this of this just little cute little thing that I made a while ago. This was just in my things that I had made, so I pulled it out and I wrote a little thing on the back. And we've got this flippy page with another paper doily, some lace, something over here with another journal entry, and sometimes the smallest of things hold the deepest of meaning. Oh, that sounds nice. A little envelope with just some sweet little things that she's collected. Those fit in that pocket. I love all this. This is really fun, feeding these ruffles through your sewing machine. And this page, this was just already done like that. So I thought this page was really beautiful. So I kind of left it simpler. She wanted to do, maybe put some ribbons together, pretty ribbons that she had been collecting. So we made a little bead dangle off the bottom of that and attached it to this. This is a piece of packaging that I backed with some beautiful Stamperia paper, and that's just kind of sitting in here as a bookmark something nice to look at. I've got a hidden paper clip that I made. I make my hidden paper clips staggered. See, that one is there and that one is there. If I make them even, I just spend so much time trying to get the darn thing on the page. It drives me crazy. So I just make them staggered like that. And I've got a few different things going on here. The packaging, the lace underneath. And what have we got here? This was just so beautiful from the Stamperia paper pack. I thought I would just put it in because it's so nice. And then we've got another beautiful one here. And on this page, she's done a journal entry. This side, what have we got? A collage. This is one that I'd previously made and I reused it here. Just some nice fabric, different types of fabric that I had. Nice collage. That was some of the packaging again that I used. This was a pocket I'd had from something that I took apart. And she talks about and Margaret's letter on this one. And now we're up to June 1873. Love this spread. I just love all this green. I've got some nice shiny green paper that I've put this sheer ribbon onto. And this is a pocket that I had repurposed from something. Oh, and another one with more Aunt Margaret stuff on it. That's kind of nice little frame. I've got a couple little things in this little pocket here. That goes back in there. And this I've made, this was a butterfly applique that I got from Dollarama. So I just attached it with this brad. Hydrangeas are some of the most magical flowers. Well, I really have to agree with that. Hydrangeas are one of my absolute favorite kind of flowers, which is probably why I bought this paper pad. So she's just got some nice things here, pretty backs, and she's written on the back of that one. And we can put this back in and just have the butterfly sitting right that. Got this lovely lady with some lace behind her. Well, the flight of a butterfly is like a melody on air in bright staccato. Just a nice collage. Nothing super fancy, just lots of color, lots of inking, and this nice lace. Okay, oh, and this is, I think this is from something that I took apart as well. So this was like a little foldy thing, so I had it out straight. Another journal entry. Some of these I made, these were all the same size, and some of them I just made thinner so that they would fit in pockets that I had. Now we're up to July. And same thing over here, a nice just a page of moths. This is a nice little fabric pocket that I made with more of those little stamps from the packaging. Oh, we've got a specimen slide now, same thing, and she's written something on the back. That's, you know, I just grunged this up because this is just something new from the store. Another beautiful butterfly card. And I think this journal is about, yeah, it's 25 pages. This is some beautiful paper that I generated online, and I didn't want to cover it up. And I did make it with this, and so she's got a nice little poem that she's written there. And this is some as well that I'd made for something else, and I thought it could just look like wallpaper because they were very into fancy wallpaper. We've just got some collaging done here, and I think that's a rivet there that I put in. And on this page, what have we got? We've got a little vellum pocket. I did a tutorial on this spread as well. And she's just got some little goodies inside this vellum pocket. And then she's just made a pretty little fabric-y yarn thing that's hung off of a bulb pin on this pretty pocket. And this is an envelope right here. And I thought the envelope was so pretty that I kind of wanted you to be able to see it. So these are the papers that I've joined these two with, which coordinate really well with that. So I just have one of those, you know, splatter stamps as well, so you can make it look like something's been spilled on it. Here's the other side of this envelope with some beautiful things here. I've lined the envelope. It was just white, so I lined it with this pretty purple paper. Made the vellum pocket with another rivet and just some things here. And she's written a couple names of butterflies with some, maybe they're from magazines or books. Maybe she's colored them with colored pencils. And this is just a lovely piece of paper. It's just beautiful. So I attached this tab here. She's got a journal entry here from July 18th and just did some ripping and put some butterflies on, and it just looks pretty. And we've got this music page showing from the other page, the next page. And on this, I've made a pocket with this authentically old music paper, and I've backed it with some cardstock because it was quite delicate. So I've got some things in the pocket. This I've done with a stencil as well. And we've got something here about Elizabeth. July 26th, I've got just a pretty cluster of some things just to look nice in there. And another one. And she talks about, she tried her hand at sketching monarch butterflies. So I made this pocket with a little bit of a gusset, so it stands out a little bit because these were a little bit thick. This is just some paper from Amazon, and it already sounded really nice and crinkly, so I just roughed it up a little bit more, but I like how it sounds. This is another stencil that I have with just, you know, old images, writing and stamps and whatnot. And she's just had a bit of fun here with some butterflies. She's done some buttons. There's a little teeny pocket from something that I had printed online, and she's got field notes on it, and there's just a few little butterflies that are in there. And this sticks up in the side. This page, this is like a masterboard collage that I had done, so I just cut some of that off and put it here, and then I put something on the back of this that fit there. This is some old violin music paper, so I've just kept it and grunged it up. This is, I thought this was such a beautiful paper as well. This is paper from Dollarama that I got, but it's so pretty. I did some stitching around the outside, and the stitching was in white thread, I think, so I just inked it and it turned brown, which I thought was really fun. This is nice. I just loved it. I made just a little paper pocket here. I've got more of that paper that I imagine was wallpaper, and she's got a pretty little journal entry in this, so that lives in there. And this is more of that. I made pockets here. I didn't really feel like I needed to busy this up too much because everything, it just looks so pretty the way it is. So I just did a bit of collaging here. Got a nice journal card with collaging on it, and another entry there. And same thing, pretty flowers. And then the last two specimen slides, I had these printed out, so I wanted to use these in this project. So we've got a couple more names of butterflies on that with our little brass paper clip. Getting close to the end here. Wow, look at that. I left that page undone. And this was I imagine that's Hortensia, the lady from the paper pad. And so she just did a little bit of stamping there. The last of my laces, and here's her last entry from August. And August 31st, she talks about how the summer is waning and things that she's done, and until we meet again, Felicity. And then here's the back, and this is the cover right here, which I did separately, and then I attached it to the journal afterwards after I put this on. So I just love all the colors, textures. I had so much fun making this, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing it. Stay tuned because I'm going to have more to look at as time goes by. Bye for now.